All right, so now we are at noon Oslo time. So we're going to get started in just a minute with our community practice end of year webinar and meetup. And I'll bring up a presentation that we're going to share to start the event. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. As I said, this is the end of year 2021 community practice webinar and meetup for the DHIS2 community. And we're really glad that we have several people who joined us today to present about their experiences in the community. We also have our community practice coordinator, Agasim Sharafuddin, who will be leading the presentations and introducing our guests. This is streaming live both on the DHIS2 YouTube channel and on the DHIS2 community practice. So if you are interested in joining us, we really appreciate it if you go to the COP and make any comments, add any questions for the presenters or for us. And then once we get to the halfway point in the event, we'll be changing this from a webinar to a meetup where everyone who's interested can join us in the Zoom meeting, and we can have just an interactive conversation, and you can all share your opinions and thoughts with us and with each other. So I'm really looking forward to this. Just to introduce myself, my name is Max Kraft. I'm the communications lead for the DHIS2 project at the University of Oslo. And so the community practice is one of the areas where I work to make sure we're creating an engaging space for DHIS2 community members to share ideas, ask questions, and get information that can be useful in implementing DHIS2 or working with DHIS2. So again, it's a real pleasure to be here for this event and to introduce our DHIS2 coordinator, Agasim. So Agasim, would you like to introduce yourself and start the presentation?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Max. Hello and welcome, everybody. Very happy to be celebrating the end of year 2021 community of practice event with you. Max, please first slide. Okay, so the event today is going to start with presentations. The first presentation, well, you voted for the webinar topics. So the webinar topic that received more votes is the finding solutions. It's what the global good community is all about. And the nominated users who sent their presentations we have three speakers presenting today. And they're going to be talking about their experience in the DHIS2 community practice. Then our meetup topic, which is also because of your vote, a discussion on how to get involved in the global DHIS2 community. So Max, please, next slide. Okay, so during our webinar, there will be activities for everyone to participate in. And the activity that in the slide, you'll see that has a star icon beside it. And there are 7 activities. So if you perform at least 5 of these activities, you get the COP activity winner. And of course, it's more of a encouragement for more participation and sharing ideas. So I hope you'll like the activities. They're simple. They're just more of a motivation to take part in the community. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'll start by introducing myself. Max, as Max said, this COP coordinator, and my name is Al-Qasim, and I am from Sana'a, Yemen. And I graduated from college in taking the information technology major, and I am so happy to have taken this major because it has been my interest since I was a little boy, the computers. and always liked computers. And information technology is not just the little kid who was passionate about computers and interested in that, but more like a major that can serve all other fields of knowledge and can serve the world. And that's one of the major things why I really like. I think DHIS2 is something that as an IT graduate, of course, and of course for other fields, but for me as an IT graduate, I think DHIS2 provides a wide area where I can area of knowledge where I can learn and improve my skills and help others. So I'm proud to be as a community of practice coordinator because from here I can see like the different experiences and engage with people from all around the world. And as a DHIS2 beginner, it's a great place to see what challenges people are going through and know what things I have to learn. So very happy to be here and contribute to the community. There is an activity, if you can see it, the slide with a star, and it's to introduce yourself. We have an introduce yourself topic in the community practice, and so many people have introduced themselves. So if you have not introduced yourself yet, please go ahead and introduce yourself to the community. If you have, so you don't miss out the activity, feel welcome to welcome other community members. Next slide, please. So our world is full of problems, and this is when I start the topic today. And our world is full of problems. You see this image, the world is crying, and I'm not going to talk about all the problems, but next slide, please, Max. When it comes to solutions and the global good community, and that's what we really want to talk about. And it's what really need to focus on, right? We can't just focus on problems, but we need to focus on the solutions. So next slide, please. That's when DHIS2 gives us great examples and great example. When it comes to solutions, DHIS2 gives us a great example at the global level, local level, and individual level. Next slide, please, Max. Okay, so at the global level, let's think about it. It's one of the main reasons why this global good project, DHIS2, this cycle has been going for years, from country to country. And every country that DHIS2 touches, it has made great impacts. And the reason is because when there is a implementation in a country, it's not that country and it stops there. There's the DHIS and the HIS groups around the world, teams, organizations, researchers that contribute, and developers that contribute and share ideas and inspire each other. Community of practice is a great place to share your stories, to learn what other implementations are doing at a global scale, a global level, and as well as share resources, and as well as find resources shared by other implementers, other developers and researchers. And as you can see there's an activity that says, update your COP profile. Where are you based in from? It's a great thing to be in the community practice, seeing that, hey, these members are from a very different part of the world than where I am. And yet we're together sharing our experiences, asking questions about the challenges in the same project, with the same mission, the same purpose. And because this kind of interaction between people from different communities and different countries is very important and very essential to the success of the global good project. We have a connect category in the community practice, which I hope you always pay a visit to that category. We also share the COP monthly, where the nominated users and the active users are tagged for their contributions, for their being helpful in the community, or even bug hunters, finding bugs. and sharing them and discussing them with the developers. So it's in the COP monthly, it's where we announced that we'll have this event, and we asked users to vote. So I really hope that you pay attention to that category, and if you visit that category now, you'll see that there's a map on top of the category, which shows how many users who have updated their country-based info and the COP profile. So if you see your country and you think or you believe that the number is much greater, maybe encourage others to update theirs as well. Okay, next slide, please, Max. So we said at the global level, that's what we were talking about, really at the global level, how HIS groups and teams and with the UIO in the DHIS2 project are inspiring each other, contributing, and empowering the DHIS2 project. At the local level, which has been you can say the core of why DHIS2 is always improving. And it's because at the local level, there's always a chance for implementers to share their experience and discuss what is best for their needs, what is best for their use cases. And not only that, because there is a place for them to share their ideas and learn from the practices of other implementations. What are for example, we have a category, implementation category, which you can read about best practices and read about, success stories and the different implementations. There is a poll that I will post, and this post asks, what sector-specific implementations are you interested in? And DHIS2 has the capacity to expand and serve so many fields of knowledge and so many sectors. And so we have the health subcategory, right? Or we have the the implementation category, but then we also have the subcategories in that category, like the education. We have the supply chain and LMIS, logistics. We have so many subcategories, and that's because the DHIS2 serves these sector-specific implementations as well. And so please add when you see the poll in the topic, please add your votes. Tell us what sector-specific implementation you're interested in. Okay, thank you, Max. Next slide. So we said it, global level and local level, but also at the individual level. Really, the DHIS2 community provides us with so many opportunities. Before COVID, there were chances for people to meet and even to travel to Oslo and take part in the academies, which hopefully one day it will be possible for people to meet again. But the DHIS2 Community of Practice is also this virtual place where you can actually communicate with other members. You can, help them solve their challenges, and one day they also help you in solving their challenges. I know it's topic and posts, comment, and not so interactive as chatting maybe, but the idea is that when I first became when I first joined the community practice, there was this experience that I wasn't so familiar about, and I didn't really know how much impact it will have until I spent so many hours and days in the community practice. And those hours or those days, I became familiar with people from different backgrounds. I became familiar with their needs. It's so nice to see, okay, this is a new user who just began, just like when I joined the community practice, and I know what experience they're going through. and they have these questions, and there are nice things to actually share with them. And at the same time, there are DHIS2 experts from the core team, people who have had experience with DHIS2 and their implementations. And it's nice to learn these things from them. So in the community of practice, there is a chance to also be aware of the meetups and announcements and the DHIS2 releases. So you'll always be aware, being a member of a community of practice, you'll always be aware of opportunities, career opportunities such as the marketplace, as well as educational opportunities. But even if you already have a career and already know so much of the of the DHIS2, there's always a lot more to learn. I learn a new thing every day, and I'm sure even experts would say the same thing. But there's also a chance for you to contribute and share your story, or ask questions, or take part in the academies or workshops or meetups, events such as this one. So this is a great part of the community of practice. And at the local level, the DHIS2, not just at the level of the community of practice, the site that we go to, but also this opens up for you to maybe in your master's degree, doing a research, or, in your university, because no matter what field interests you, there is always somewhere that you'll find the analytics and the management of information and putting it all together the way DHIS2 puts it. I'm sure you'll benefit from it. So thank you. So there's an activity in this slide, and start watching your favorite category to receive email notifications. And I encourage you, if you don't know how to watch a category, please do make a post in this topic, and I'll make sure to answer you with instructions on how to receive email notifications, so that when there's a meetup, when there's an event, when there are latest releases, depending on which category you're interested in, you'll always receive an email notification. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, so that's it. We're part of the solution, right? There's this cycle that we talked about, the global, local, individual, these people interacting with each other, which kept the cycle going on. That's really part of the solution. And if we really want to ask, if this is the heart, so what's keeping this heart alive? Next slide, please, Max. Max, yes, thanks. You are keeping this heart alive. You are part of the solution. When you ask your question because of you facing a difficulty or challenge, and another person answers, or when you answer yourself, this cycle, this inspiration that keeps people, from around the world interacting. And it hasn't been possible through the community of practice. It has been possible. I know. And this is a time when you might be asking me, but we had this technical issue and it wasn't solved in the COP. But I know some members, and I've seen so many members, which I really appreciate when they do it, is that when they make a post about a technical issue that they face, for example, and then they were later on able to solve the issue, they come back and they share the solution. And I think that's very important, because they know the value of contributing for the whole world. Because when they share the solution, they didn't share it to one person or to just their friend, but they shared it to their friends all over the world. And if you see the pictures here, this is based on last scene. So when I took the screenshot, I was the last scene for the COP. But I would really encourage you to update your profile picture. You can choose whatever picture you want, but it's nice because we have this diversity. We can see people from all over the world, the pictures, and every picture has a story. But also, even if you choose not to upload a picture, even the first letter of your username or your name still, is important. Every contribution is important, as long as we're all part of the solution. Okay, thanks, Max. Next slide, please. Okay, so since I mentioned technical issues, And it's more, many might be, questioning or asking and wanting to know. And so there are some things to consider when there are technical issues. So the first question to ask is, what is the error really? What's causing this error? And no expert, no developer, nobody in the whole world can ever solve an error without knowing the cause. So that's the idea. So let's get to asking. That's the first question. What is the error? If you want to ask for a solution, we really want to know what the error is. So the way to do that is check the logs. There is a Catalina log. There is a browser's developers tools in Chrome, Firefox, depending on what browser you're using. You'll find the network tab, which shows the requests between the website, between the browser and the server. And there sometimes you can find out if there's an error with those requests. In addition to that, search for similar error logs. When you find this error, when you read the error, search for error logs. Search for the error in the COP. Search for it in jira.dhis2.org, where the developers are always, writing about their next release or issues about the bugs that might happen and whether they're fixed or they're working on it. So it's these are steps to the first steps when you want to know what the error is. And another very helpful thing when posting about a technical issue that you're facing is that to take screenshots. When I say informative screenshots, because sometimes the screenshot might not have the information. So if the screenshot shows a way to reproduce the issue, and it also shows like where the error is, it helps a lot to really understand what the issue is for a beginner or for an expert. Next slide, please. And another question would be, or other questions, does this happen to one user only in your DHIS2 instance? Is this something that only one user is experiencing? Is it something because of their rules and the authorities that they have been granted or not granted? So they don't have, are they authorized to perform that action? For example, if you don't have a super admin, try to see if the super admin can perform that action. And if not, maybe review the authorities, because sometimes it's just that the organization unit is not assigned to the user, or maybe there's the role that this user needs a role that allows them to perform such an action. And if it's not really about having authority, so if even the super user cannot perform that action, then maybe sometimes if it becomes too complicated, see if you have a test instance that can allow developers to debug to figure out what the issue is. Okay, thanks. Next slide, please. I'm about to finish soon. Okay, so I think this is the last slide for technical issues, and is the issue reproducible in any of the latest play the DHIS2.org instances? And if you have not checked those instances, I really recommend you do, because they're very helpful. They've helped me learn like 90% of the things, when I'm testing and learning about DHIS2. So really, and I love that word play, because when you have fun while doing it, when you change your mood, that encourages you to keep going. And I think, when you're facing technical issues, you won't really want to play, but sometimes you really just play the DHIS2 a chance and see, can you reproduce it there? If you can, then 100%, I encourage you to make a post about it and share it with the developers so that they can figure out how to provide you with a workaround. Maybe some COP users might share an issue and they also share a workaround, so how they went and solved it, even though there's still a bug there. And if you can't test it in the play DHIS2.org instance because you have an older instance, maybe update to the latest release or upgrade and check the system requirements. If you have a required Java version, for example, there are lots of posts about this in the community practice. So if yes, and these posts are written by the core team, by experts, DHIS2 experts. So really recommend when you face an issue, search about it in the community practice. So if yes, also if all of these, if you were able to test it and make a post in the COP, and I hope that you're one of the bug hunters that we tag in the COP monthly. So an activity here is, do you have any additional advice or recommendation than the ones that I mentioned to those seeking technical support in the COP? Please add your comments. Next slide, please. Okay, so if you're seeking knowledge, advice, or have feature requests and want to write about it in the COP, I'm very open. You can be very creative, and you don't really take my word for these, but these are just like recommendations. So you get things to consider when you're posting about, when you're asking for advice or thinking about a feature request. So it's nice to see if anyone has mentioned that topic before. So the easy way, if someone in the COP, if you search for that topic and you find that someone has already mentioned these ideas that you're thinking about, maybe tag them. This can support the conversation that you're posting in the COP. Also think about what category, which category should your post be in? Is it really about, malaria, for example? Then there's a subcategory for that in the implementation. Is it because you really need the technical support and you doubt maybe something's not working right? Then maybe the support category is good. Is it because you're a developer? And so we have developer category for that. And so search for info in DHIS2 documentation. It's very helpful when you provide info in your topic, because as you know, the community practice is not just it's not really a help desk. It's more than that. It's support with knowledge, with information for the global community. So when you add information that you already know, when you support it, when you back it with DHIS2, for example, documentation or links, resources, even though you're asking for an advice, it helps everyone reading that topic to understand what the topic is about. And then, which is something that we'll be talking about in the meetup, being engaged in the global DHIS2 community. So join webinar sessions, meetups, workshops. I mean, when you know more about the DHIS2 technical side or implementations and all that, you can share with others and you can support the community practice. And finally, if you have a feature request, before creating a Jira feature request, it's always good to see who are the people in the community practice who are interested in this feature request. Is it going to solve only your country or your city or your implementation, or could it solve an issue for everyone around the world? So, or maybe a number of people. So a community practice is a great place for you to invite them and create the Jira issue after having the discussion, and they can vote, add their votes. And when they have more votes, when a feature request has more votes, then the developers will know that it's something really everybody was going to need and want to see it in the DHIS2 software. So were you seeking info in the COP? That's an activity. That's something that I'm asking you. Were you seeking info in the COP and were or weren't able to find info? Please make a comment about your experiences, your feedback, and is always welcome. So please, always feel free to share. Thank you, Max. And this is when my presentation ends, and the great speakers join us for the presentations. We have Vikawato, Zakaria, and Arif. They sent their presentations. They want to talk about their experience in the community of practice. As you know, before before they got selected, we nominated so many active users in the community of practice. And next slide, please. I think Zakaria is starting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But I was having a question for you, Agasim.
Yes, please go ahead.
I wanted to know how many countries is DHIS2 operating?
Well, if we're talking about all types of implementations, then I'm sure maybe we have more about 100, right?
Okay.
That's a good question, right? Really global, all around the world.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so I'm Zakaria Wuniche Sulahu. I'm from Ghana, and I am actually a graduate with statistics, and then I did a lot about computer, and then it's mostly on we did something called statistical computing. We have also done so many statistical packages like GenStar, SPSS. We also did something like MATLAB. So these are some of the things we have done at my tertiary level. But when I finished and completed, and then I was going for employment, I applied PMI Vector Link Ghana. By then it was ABT associate. So we were doing the data entries without DHIS2 at first, but later they brought DHIS2, and it was compulsory for any person who has interest to work with DHIS2. So they gave us the opportunity to learn DHIS2. That is where I got to know DHIS2 at my level. I hear me, please.
Yes, we can, Zakaria. Yes, please continue. Thank you.
And please let me know if you'd like to change the slide too. You can just say next slide.
Yes, if I reach a place, I'll let you. So I got to know much about that. So because of that, I was always learning new things about DHIS2, and then it makes me perfect in terms of fundamentals, then event capture. Please, can you go further? Okay, go to the next place. Now, my experience first is about DHIS2 training in Ghana. The first point is training people on online DHIS2 fundamentals, and then DHIS2 event fundamentals. This in Ghana, I always train people, and actually, I don't even charge them. We will organize the time, and then I'll meet them and teach them of how to do about DHIS2 in order to have their certificate. And then when you look at this thing, I always promote DHIS2 by informing my colleagues who are graduates to always learn DHIS2. In 2019, I trained about 9 people, And then 2020, I trained 6 people. This year, so far, I've trained 5 people so that they can have access with DHIS2 certificate, uh, both fundamentals and then event fundamentals. And then I also help people to acquire DHIS2. That is the point I've made. Always informing people about DHIS2 importance. It has been my passionate to always let people know about DHIS2, how it helps people, and then most importantly, how it help people to get jobs in Ghana. Especially there's a hospital called King's Medical Center. They were seeking for people who have DHIS2 background. It's in northern region, Kumbongo district. Let's go to the next slide. Now, my work experience with DHIS2. I work with PMI Vector in Ghana using DHIS2. Yes, as I said earlier on, I work with PMI Vector Link. Through them, I got to know much about DHIS2. I learned a lot about the tricky part of data entry using DHIS2. The second bullet is I help teams of data entry assistants who use DHIS2 in cleaning data, especially those who has worked with PMI Vector in Ghana. And the first time when it came, when they made it compulsory for us to learn and to use it, I was given opportunity to teach my colleagues who are in the district level. So I was always calling them to make sure that if there's an error, they should do this and that. And mostly, they will call me and I'll show them where to do the corrections, what to do in order to make the data being so perfect, in order to clean the data. And then in Ghana here, PMI Vector Link is working in 8 districts currently. So, but though they are trying to add more districts in order to get more coverage. So DHIS2 in Ghana, I help a lot of people working within the districts in terms of DHIS2 challenges. And then I use DHIS2 to monitor field operators' daily work. Yes, we also use DHIS2, especially those who go to the field to do what we call indoors residual spraying, or spraying structures within compounds. Whatever they captured, we always monitor their daily work through using DHIS2. I help district with the issues of DHIS2 challenges. As I said earlier on, every challenges they are facing, the regional database manager always tell them to call me to give them more about their solution. So I always do a lot of these things for them. Please go to the next. Yeah, challenges involved in DHIS2 trading and then field work. Some of the people do not have computer literacy background. Yes, some people they are educated, all right, but they don't have the literacy background in terms in computer. So they find it difficult to use DHIS2. And mostly I help them to know and then to learn much about computer. Sometimes they should learn other parts before they come to that aspect of DHIS2. Some of the surveys on DHIS2 online exams does not have skip button. Yes, I have a challenge. First, when you look at the DHIS2 fundamentals and then DHIS2 event fundamentals, if you are to start the first model, when you begin to answer certain questions, when you get to a place where it asks you about your experience, your work experience, and sorry, whether you are working or you are not, it asks you some level of things in which you are working under. So when you click unemployment, it does not skip the next page. It still asks you about your position, which is not, I think it should be worked on, because once you say you are unemployed, it shouldn't ask you about your position. So in that aspect, it tells you it sometimes goes further to click the order in order to just inform them that you are still unemployed. Another thing is this year, with PMI Vector Link Ghana, there was a challenge on cleaning using the system. Yeah, the problem is that we got to a place, especially the first 2 days we started operation. The second day we did a cleaning, but the third day, all what we have cleaned, it came back, it bounced back. So we were doing double cleaning because we finished cleaning for 2 days, and then the third day it all bounced back. It was a very big issue for us in Ghana working with that thing. And then even the third day we cleaned everything. The fourth day it bounced back again, but thanks being to God, we were able to, it was able to resolve. I think my boss was able to communicate to you, and then I think it got resolved. Another thing is sometimes exams on DHIS2 training and customization have message difficulties. Yeah, mostly when you are doing the DHIS2 exams and you get to training line, the moment you click on create account, the messaging or the message takes time. Sometimes it will not just come. So unless you communicate to the academy board for them to take note of it. I remember one of the people I was teaching who were doing it, and then somewhere along the line, we click on the create account training line aspect, and even go to the customization. When we go to the customization aspect, we click on the create account, but it did not give us message. So we have to quickly send a message for quick response. But we were able to get the response by using another practice to catch up, and then we solve it. There are majority of people who are educated and still don't know DHIS2. Ghana here, some people a lot of people don't still know what DHIS2 is about. So apart from those, I'm always closer to where I inform them about DHIS2, the importance of it, and then they got to know. And the rest, I don't think they know much about it. And then even when you go to the health sector aspect, they know because they are using DHIS2, especially those with the public health and then other stuff. They know much. They know. Please go next. Impression and recommendation of DHIS2. I love working using DHIS2 app even when, even though I am learning on it seriously. Yes, DHIS2 is what I really love. And then when I don't get something, I quickly ask the higher rank for clarification. And then I always like to do something, even if I done something wrong, I always want to make sure that it's done correctly. So when I'm using DHIS2, I am more focused on especially making the right thing done. And then the next is DHIS2 COP leaders have done well by organizing conference every year. Yes, this is where I always like. Every time there's conference, I always like joining DHIS2 because it uh, it gives us more knowledge on how to use DHIS2. It always updates us on many things, uh, and then with different ideas all around the globe, which is very important to us. I will entreat DHIS2 COP organized face-to-face conference for us. Yes, for me joining it 2019, if I'm right, I have not been able to attend face-to-face conference, but I remember as the teammate mentioned, it used to be face-to-face, but due to COVID, it has stopped. But I will ensure that we have the chance to meet, especially those who just joined it not quite long. I'll be happy we had the chance to meet face to face so that we will know each other more and more. That will give us much connection. There are a lot of helping hands on the DHIS2 COP page, which I love so much. Yes, on the page, should you have any problem, and then post it on the page, people quickly respond to you. If you are facing a so much serious challenge, I always get the answers all over, and then it's very good for me. I'm grateful for being part of the DHIS2 COP. Yes, I love it, and then it I don't even know how to express it. It's very interactive. It's very sociable, and then is I'll say that we need to strengthen it more. I think that's all my presentation. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, Vikuato, please. Thank you, Zakaria. Great presentation.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, hi. Good afternoon. Where I'm coming from, but I know there's a number of people watching from all over the place. Introduce myself. My name is the Center for Infectious Disease Research in Zambia. So it's a public health and research organization, non-governmental organization that deals with HIV, COVID, clinical trials, social and behavioral research. So I'm a strategic information officer with a background of computer science from the University of Zambia, as well as currently pursuing a master's from the Georgia Institute of Technology, or GATEC for short. So I'm in the data management team. You can have a next slide, Max. So I first came to know of the community of practice when I was attending the DHIS2 Tracker Level 1 Academy back in 2018. So we had been using DHIS2 for some time, and coming to know this community really was bright for us as an organization, in that we had felt like you could feel like, especially without knowing a community like this, like you are alone in it, but coming to find that there's a whole community and group of people out there that you may consult on really was a positive for us. So I've been a member from then, and though I'm based in Lusaka, Zambia, which is where my organization. Max, say that? All right, thanks. So some, in terms of my personal experience anyway, some of the biggest uses have been the support topic, which has been of great help in terms of technical assistance. So I think based on the last time I checked DHIS2 Community of Practice, as well as historically, it is the most active section of the topics, because it does address quite a number of issues. So you find that the issues that are raised when someone needs technical assistance are solution-driven in interaction, in that the end goal of it is to have your solution for whatever problem it is that you are facing. And this greatly reduces the time that you spend debugging or solving these problems or issues. It's also nice that it's very interactive. Not like I said, it's solution-driven interaction. So it's not interactive to beat around or leave your problem hanging, but you will find that there will be pointers to help you get to your solution. And I think Al-Gassim had raised that point earlier, in that you will find that people are doing it to be helpful to a lot of others. And even when someone is facing a problem, back and update everyone on what they did. We can have the next slide. So this is my last slide for this, but some of the way forward, thinking with the community of practice, could be having more engagement in the software and app development topics, more interactions with the developers and the users getting into it. Some other things could be also having more local in-person meetups. This will allow for the different DHIS2 users in the localities to get to interact with each other more and share ideas in a physical setting. For the global side of things, of course, having more interactive on-site games and trivia could also help to add a certain level or layer of getting to know each other on that level. Yeah, so this should be the end of my slide, but overall, I'd like to say it's a very, very interesting community, and for those who are working DHIS2, I strongly encourage you to get in for some of the reasons that the previous presenter and I myself have talked about. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Vikuato. And our next speaker is Adaf. Great presentation, Vikuato. And there you go, please, Arif. Thank you. Arif, your mic is muted.
Oh, sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Arif Ajad Khan. I'm based in Bangladesh. I am working in ICT for Development Organization named Empower Social Enterprise Limited. I came to know about DHIS2 back 2019, and I came to know about COP in the same year. So I found it's very helpful to learn about DHIS2 because I found it very interactive. In terms of every day, I get many topics to learn and various solutions in this community of practice. So I basically try to visit almost every day to learn new things about DHIS2. Please, next. So when I visit and community of practice, I learn about many things happening in DHIS2. For example, it announces conferences, various releases, web and Android, and it also announces about the various training. So I got announced about the annual conferences that happened at this year, I guess. So I attended in these annual conferences and could get more knowledge about the DHIS2, and also I get information about the training. There is a DHIS2 Academy, so I enrolled there and I completed 2 self-paced training, and I also get information about the digital training. So I completed already 2 digital training, and another is on Android ongoing. Hopefully it will be completed soon. It is today is the last day, but we have still opportunity to submit our exam by 8 December. Please, next slide, please. So community of practices, I get almost most of the information which are in terms of training, releases, or various topics are discussed in the community of practices, and that information are sent associated with my mail. So I always check my everyday, I check my mail, and when I get any information about the DHIS2, I try to check what is happening in the DHIS2. So COP associate mail always try to connect me to visit the COP. So I think it's really helpful for us to update things through mail. Another important thing is community of practice. There are many answers are there in community of practices. So in my cases, I get many answers which helps me to solve my problem. So I specifically listed here few problem and solution I get from community of practices, but these are the only few listed things I have here listed, but many solution I got from the community of practices. Next slide, please. I already mentioned it. Community of practices is the place we get all of the DHIS2 related informations. For example, releases. It's really need to know who are using DHIS2 about the releases, web releases, Android releases, new feature, upcoming changes, and Jira issues are solved. It's really important who uses the DHIS2. So it's really great place to update it about DHIS2 is community of practices. Please, next slide, please. So basically, I get pulse of DHIS2 in community of practices because all over the world who uses DHIS2 shares their practice, share their experiences, and share their achievement or impact of DHIS2 shared in the community of practices. So it's a place of DHIS2 users to get know about the DHIS2, how impacted it all over the world, and all over the world who are using DHIS2 visit this place for basically to know about these tools, and many people give solutions and get solutions from this community of practices. Please, next slide, please. So I have some expectation from community practices because DHIS2 is a robust tool. It has to maintain academy. It's a play version of DHIS2. It has a great documentation. It's a Jira ticket issue, YouTube channel, Facebook page, various components it has to maintain. So I think it would be good if on community practice landing pages we get the quick links of these items. For example, academy and DHIS2 documents. It will be very helpful for us who simultaneously need to visit this community practices, and sometimes we need to serve the play of DHIS2. And another expectation from community practice is that various documents or resources of DHIS2 can highlight the community of practices as well, because I think all of are interconnected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adaf. Great presentation. Thank you. And please see the link to the meetup in the topic post. I am posting it right now. So we're waiting in the Zoom for you to join us and discuss how to get involved in the DHIS2 community. We can discuss this at global level, individual level, local level, when it comes to the different sectors, specific sector implementation you're interested in. So please feel welcome to join the Zoom, and we'll be waiting for you to join this discussion. I hope you can now see the Zoom meetup link with the ID shared in the topic post. As well, and yes, I also posted the vote, the poll. It's there in the topic page if you want to vote. We already have about 20 total votes voting for which sector-specific implementation they're interested in. And it's really great. So we have members interested in health, education, agriculture, logistics, sanitation. That's really great. And I believe that DHIS2 will serve so many in the future, and so many different sectors around the world in different fields. The other thing is, if you scroll down the topic page, you'll see the list of activities. So you have about 24 hours when you're ready, when you've completed at least 5 of these. So you can complete at least 5 of these 7 activities that are in the topic page with the title webinar activities. So after completing 5 of these, you can add a post, comment, or send me a PM message on COP, and you'll get the activity winner badge mentioned in the presentation. And then you can see that link for the Zoom meetup. Please let me know if you have any difficulty clicking on the link or joining the Zoom. I'll share the screen and show you how to join.
Yeah, I have difficulties. Oh wait, which one?
Sorry, Zakaria.
All right.
Okay, welcome. It's kind of quiet, no music in the background, but if anyone has a suggestion of a song or music that you want to play in the background, I mean, this is really a celebration of the end of year, and great to have everyone come around and have these conversations, continue inspiring each other. Okay.
Kasim, I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream since we're going into the meetup portion. I think it's better to have this be a private. So
Sure. Thanks. Okay, waiting to see you. Please join. And just a second, please. I'll share the screen to show you how to join, just in case you weren't able to join us, and if it did not work for you. So over here, you can see in this topic page and the topic page where we're discussing, you can see if you scroll down that we have this link right here. So if you click on it, and if you have a Zoom client in your PC, or if you have it in your browser, so if you click on it, you need to change the tab. You seem to have lost your way. Okay, sorry. I'll share the link again, just so, because it didn't work for. Okay, so I'll share the link again in the post, just in case. So, okay, so I'm sharing it right there. Just copy paste. Please copy paste this, or just click here in that Zoom link, and yes, I'm sure you're going to be able to join now. I think there was a issue with the link, so now you can. If you click on the link, you'll be able to join. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop my sharing screen. Max, thanks. Please feel free to end the live stream. Thank you so much.